In other news, a new plan to ramp up service delivery, we're told, is in the works in Ekurhuleni after the re-election of the DA's Tania Campbell as mayor there yesterday. Residents say there's a massive backlog of uncollected waste and electricity and water faults that need to be sorted out. Newzroom Afrika went to the communities today to speak to residents and to get a response from the city. Our reporter Govan Whittles, he's back from Ekurhuleni now. Govan, good afternoon to you. What did you find?
Well, a lot has been made by the councillors in the Ekurhuleni Council about the state of service delivery, and we found some evidence of exactly what they've been complaining about. Uncollected waste, persistent water outages, electricity outages that have been lasting days, and residents who've been calling it in to the municipality, and no one's been coming out to fix these faults. There's a lot of frustration among the residents in Ekurhuleni. They voiced a lot of it. Of course, we put the question to them whether they believe things would change because there's a new mayor. And it seems like they've dealt with so many service delivery backlogs that they're not hopeful that Tania Campbell will do anything new, especially since she's been in office since November. They believe it'll be more of the same. But we'll get to the city's response. First, let's take a look at what some of the residents had to say.
Just been about from, I'm sure now it's 3 months back. Rubbish, but about clean, as now about clean now. Such as the cutter, the push cut, I don't think they'll get better, they'll get worse because they still have a backlog with the service delivery that they didn't collect. So they'll have to collect more because they didn't collect in time, so it's going to pile up.
We see problems in Ekurhuleni there, Govan. What's the mayor doing about this?
She had an urgent meeting with the city manager. That was immediately after being elected. Today they expanded on that meeting. They've put together a new team, and this team is specifically designed to deal with the backlogs in service delivery, but also ramp up the pace of service delivery. And Stephen, specifically in townships. Remember that this is what the ANC and a number of the minority parties were complaining about and accusing the mayor of neglecting the townships in Ekurhuleni. She's denied that's the case, and it looks like she's getting ready to unveil a bigger plan that will involve more service delivery. When we went out into the townships today, specifically at least Reiger Park, must admit we didn't see much work happening in Germiston itself, and in Tembisa there's not much happening either, but there was some repair happening in Reiger Park. We saw people dealing with electricity outages. There's still water leaks all over the city, and we spoke to the city manager spokesperson. He's the spokesperson for the city, Mr. Zweli Dlamini, about what they're going to do about it and how that will be rolled out.
Yes, there may have been some political issues that were taking place, as everyone knows. Finally, those have been resolved. But in terms of the work we were supposed to do, we stick to the back to basics strategy as announced by the executive mayor when the new leadership came in November. And we've been continuing with that. And yesterday as well, when she was re-elected, she made it clear that it's back to basics, but ramped up this time. So we're basically looking at rolling up our sleeves. As we speak, the city has set up a team, which is led by the city manager, which basically says, let's look at how best we can actually ramp up the services that we are rendering.
Govan, I mean, in so many different ways, we're seeing so much sort of political instability, really, in the metros in Gauteng. Like Nelson Mandela Bay residents will tell us this is what they've had since 2016. Do people feel that there's ever going to be any kind of resolution? Do they worry that their services are just going to get worse and worse because of the politics?
There's a lot of despondency in the communities that we visited today, and it doesn't appear that residents have much hope that things will get better. It's quite the opposite. They're bracing themselves for things to remain the same and fixing things by themselves. In the community of Fisher Hill, in Germiston, people have started burning their own rubbish because they don't anticipate it will be collected by the municipality. In Reiger Park, people have started filling in the potholes themselves with gravel. And we know that there are planned protests in Reiger Park and one we know of in Tembisa for tomorrow. And they're hoping to get the attention of the municipality, still not convinced that after the election of Tania Mayor, the re-election of Tania Campbell as the mayor, that things will get better. Of course, the city is promising to deal with all of those things directly and urgently.
Govan Whittles, thank you very much indeed. Our reporter been in Ekurhuleni today, been there really for the last few days.